First at 9 this Saturday, the 27th of December 2025. Industrial aid. Government launches concessional loan program for disaster-affected industrialists. Minister detained. CID granted 72-hour detention to question ex-Minister Douglas Devananda. Sales slump. Vehicle Importers Association reports significant decline in sales. Voter census. Voter registration census for 2026 to commence on February 1st, Pafrel says.
Kalin baby so rupial 90කට. Kalin baby podi හැමෝටමයි.
This is Derana First at 9. Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
Good evening and welcome to First at 9 on Derana News Channel, Sri Lanka's most trusted news source. I'm Derana, joining you live with the latest in Sri Lanka and around the world. We begin with your top story. Now, a concessionary loan scheme to rebuild and revive disaster-struck businesses was unveiled by the government in a bid to inspire economic resurgence post-Ditwa. As part of the initiative, concessional loans were extended to 100 industrialists on the first day.
The government has launched a concessional loan scheme to support the reconstruction of businesses damaged by severe flooding caused by Cyclone Ditwa. The program was officially inaugurated yesterday near the Galnava Kalankuttiya tank. A project to reconstruct religious establishments damaged by Cyclone Ditwa was inaugurated today at the Sri Visuddharama Temple in Koswana Rattota by Deputy Minister of Buddha Sasana, Religious and Cultural Affairs Gamagedara Disanayaka.
මුළු රටේම ආපදාවට පත්වෙච්ච පන්සල් පල්ලි කෝවිල් දේවාල තිබෙනවා 1100කට විතර ආසන්න ප්‍රමාණයක්. අපි විශ්වාස කරනවා මේ දවස් දෙක ඇතුළත අපේ ප්‍රධාන ආපදාවට පත්වෙච්ච දිස්ත්‍රික්කවල පිළිසකර කළ යුතු මට්ටමේ තියෙන විහාරස්ථානත් ඒ වගේම ආගමික මධ්‍යස්ථානත් පිළිසකර කරලා දෙන්න.
Meanwhile, the Minister of Women and Child Affairs Saroja Paul Raj inspected several schools and preschools damaged by the cyclone in the Badula district yesterday. In Gampula, access to the Galgediava area has been severely disrupted after landslides triggered by Cyclone Ditwa destroyed the access road. Residents claim that despite several weeks having passed, no reconstruction work has begun. Against this backdrop, residents themselves constructed a temporary bridge to retrieve two vehicles that were buried under the landslide debris. In the meantime, the Disaster Management Centre has announced that with several provinces expected to receive additional rainfall from the 29th, precautionary measures have been implemented to manage potential impacts.
මෙම මාස 29 වන දින සිට වර්ෂාපතනය සාමාන්‍යයට ඉහළ තත්ත්වයක් උතුරු ප්‍රදේශයටත් උතුරු මැද මධ්‍යම නැගෙනහිර සහ ඌව ප්‍රදේශවලට ඇදහැලීමට ඉඩ ඇති බව කාලගුණ විද්‍යා දෙපාර්තමේන්තුව දන්වා සිටිනවා. ඒ අනුව ආපදා කළමනාකරණ මධ්‍යස්ථානය ඊශානදිග මෝසමට ක්‍රියාත්මක වීමට තියෙන හදිසි සැලැස්මට අනුව බටපිරිස් ගුවන් යානා නාවික බට කණ්ඩායම් බෝට්ටු සූදානම් කරන ලෙස දන්වා තියෙනවා. ඒ අනුව ජනතාවට මේ පිළිබඳ අවධානයෙන් සිටින ලෙස ආපදා කළමනාකරණ මධ්‍යස්ථානය ඉල්ලා සිටිනවා.
A sermon and multi-religious observances were held at the Sidikota, the United National Party headquarters this evening to seek blessings for those who lost their lives and for communities affected by the cyclone. Former President and party leader Ranil Wickremesinghe, along with party members, attended the event. Meanwhile, an overnight Pirith chanting ceremony was held in Gampule last night to invoke blessings for those who lost their lives and for communities affected by Cyclone Ditwa. Organised by the Chakkindarama Temple and the Young Men's Buddhist Association, the event was attended by religious leaders representing multiple faiths. An alms-giving ceremony followed this afternoon. The Derana Media Network served as the media sponsor for the event.
The 30% discount on Apico Farm and Spring mattresses available at Apico Supercenter and Apico Daily.
The Criminal Investigation Department has obtained approval to detain and question former Minister Douglas Devananda for a period of 72 hours under the Prevention of Terrorism Act following his arrest yesterday. The move comes after his personal firearm was reportedly recovered from members of an organized criminal gang.
A pistol-type firearm issued by the Sri Lanka Army to former Minister Douglas Devananda in 2001 was recovered in 2019 during the interrogation of organised criminal Makadure Madhush. The weapon had been concealed in a forested location in the Valiveria area. Subsequent verification of the firearm serial number confirmed that it had been officially issued to Douglas Devananda during his tenure as a minister. According to police, when questioned, the former minister failed to provide a satisfactory explanation as to how the firearm went missing or how it came into the possession of another individual. Consequently, officers of the Criminal Investigation Department arrested Douglas Devananda yesterday. The Office of the Police Media spokesperson confirmed that the CID has obtained approval to detain and question the former minister for 72 hours under the Prevention of Terrorism Act.
A dispute at a nightclub in Katunayaka led police to arrest 6 people, including the owner, wanted on 2 Negombo court warrants. Police reported that 2 overseas-based suspects linked to underworld figure Koskoda Suji were involved in last Monday's Ambalangoda shooting.
A clash erupted at a nightclub in Katunayaka on the 24th between a group of visitors and the club's staff. The police stated that the visitors reportedly threatened the management before fleeing the scene. Following the incident, the Western Province North Crime Division received information that the nightclub owner and several employees had allegedly prepared petrol bombs and hidden them on the club's upper floor. Police conducted a search at the location last night, leading to the arrest of 6 individuals, including the owner. Authorities noted that the owner is a warrant holder in 2 pending cases in the Negombo court. Further investigations into the incident are ongoing. 2 suspects linked to the Ambalangoda showroom shooting on December 22 were recently arrested in Makola and Kiribathgoda. The incident involved the fatal shooting of a showroom manager inside the premises. Authorities stated that the suspects admitted to providing transportation and coordinating the escape of the shooters under the direction of notorious underworld figure Koskoda Suji. Further investigations revealed that the attack was planned by a network of underworld operatives, including Koskoda Suji, Goda Asanka, Karandiniya Sudha, Karandiniya Raju, Dola and Dasun Manavadu. Police added that the motive for the murder was the victim's close ties to Koskoda Suji's main rival, Urugaha Michael.
The Vehicle Importers Association of Sri Lanka cited a significant decrease of vehicle sales in the wake of recent disasters. Speaking to the media, Chairman of the association, Prasad Manage, urged the government to ease the restrictions on vehicle imports, highlighting the need to support the struggling automotive sector and help revive the market.
The Central Bank's monthly economic indicators report for October depicts a total of 268,554 new vehicles have been registered during the 10-month period spanning from January to October 2025. The figures denote a 370.4% increase compared to the figures of the corresponding period in the previous year. A total of 48,006 new vehicles were registered during the month of October alone. The significant increase of vehicle imports were attributed to relaxed import restrictions. Thereby, vehicles and machinery valued at 89,052 million rupees were imported to the island during the 10-month period from January to October 2025. This depicts an increase of 21% compared to the same period last year. However, the Vehicle Importers Association of Sri Lanka cite a significant decrease of vehicle sales owing to the recent disaster situation.
මේ ආපදා තත්ත්වය යටතේ මිනිසුන්ගේ මිලදී ගැනීම හැකියාව ඒ වගේම අපිට දීපු orders ගොඩක් මිනිසුන්ට ගන්න බැරි තැනකට අවිල්ලා තියෙනවා. ඒකට ප්‍රධාන හේතුව මේ වුණ ආපදා තත්ත්වයත් එක්ක මිනිසුන්ගේ ගොඩක් මිනිසුන්ගේ business තමන්ගේ ආර්ථික මට්ටම් කඩා වැටලා තියෙනවා. ඉතින් අපිට orders දීලා ගෙනාපු වාහන ඒ මිනිසුන්ට මිලදී ගන්න බැරි තැනකට අවිල්ලා තියෙනවා. ඉතින් මේ 103ක penalty එකක් ගහනවා. ඔබ සියලු දෙනා දන්නවා මාස 3 පැන්නට පස්සේ ලංකාවේ import වෙන හැම වාහනයකම. පළවෙනි මාසේ 103යි ඊළඟ මාසේ තව 103ක් ඒ වගේ දිගින් දිගට යනවා. අපි රජයෙන් ඉල්ලීමක් කරන්න කැමතියි මේ අවස්ථාවේ පුළුවන් නම් මේක අයින් කළ දෙන්න. ඇත්තටම අපි සියලු දෙනා දන්නවා සාමාන්‍යයෙන් වැගන්නාර් රථයකට පවා ලක්ෂ 40ක විතර ඩියුටි percentage එකක් වදිනවා. මේක සාමාන්‍යයෙන් 650cc පොඩි එන්ජින් එකක් තියෙන පොඩි වාහනයක්. මේක මිලදී ගන්නේ සාමාන්‍ය මධ්‍යම ප්‍රාන්තිකයේ සාමාන්‍ය ජනතාව. ඉතින් මේක හොඳට ෆුවල් කරන මේක ඇත්තටම මේ වගේ වාහන අපි ප්‍රොමෝට් කරන්න ඕනේ. යාරිස් වැගන්නාර් හස්ලර් මේ වාහනවල ෆුවල් එෆිෂියන්සි එක හරිම උඩ තත්ත්වයක හොඳ තත්ත්වයක තියෙනවා. ලීටර් කිලෝමීටර් 20ක් විතර කරනවා. ඉතින් මේ වාහනවල පොඩි දිරිගැන්වීමක් හා මේ පාරිභෝගික ජනතාවට මේ වාහන මිලදී ගැනීමට හැකියාව වෙන පරිදි අපි රජයෙන් ඉල්ලීමක් කරන්න කැමතියි. පුළුවන් නම් මේ වාහනවල මිල ගණන් අඩු කරලා දෙන්න.
30% discount on Apico Farm and Spring mattresses available at Apico Supercenter and Apico Daily.
වසරකට ළමුන් 22000කගේ පාසල් ගමන මග නවතිනවා.
එවන් දරුවන් නැවත පාසල් යවන්න අභ්‍යාස පොත් පරිත්‍යාග කරන්න. සෑම පොතකටම ඇට්ලස් පොතක් අපෙන්.
Renowned Sri Lankan singer Lata Walpola has passed away at the age of 91. Born in 1934 in Mount Lavinia, she began her musical journey at just 12 years old, joining the choir of Radio Ceylon in 1946. Over her remarkable career, she recorded more than 10,000 songs, including several in foreign languages. She made her cinematic debut in 1953 with the film Edara and went on to lend her voice to over 600 films, leaving an indelible mark on Sri Lankan music and cinema. The People's Action for Free and Fair Elections announced that the 2026 voter registration census will begin on February 1st. Census officials' visits will be limited to homes requiring updates to the A and AA voter lists, which track newly added or removed names. Only households needing voter information will be visited. PAFREL added that political party representatives can observe the process and monitor officials' recommendations on voter eligibility. Any irregularities can be reported in writing to the census officer, with a copy sent to the relevant district deputy or assistant commissioner. Now let's take a look at the latest developments in the political sphere today.
මේ අය පළාත් පාලන ආයතනවල බහුතරය හදාගත්තේ විපක්ෂයේ පළාත් පාලන මන්ත්‍රීවරුන්ට අල්ලස් දීලා අනිත් පැත්තෙන් රජයේ නිලධාරීන්ගේ රාජ්‍ය යාන්ත්‍රණය තමන්ගේ වාසියට යොදා ගැනීමෙන්. හැබැයි එහි ප්‍රතිඵලයේ විදියට අද ප්‍රසිද්ධියේ ඡන්ද ප්‍රකාශයට පත් කරන අයවැය පැමිණියාම එදා මාලිමාවට සහාය දුන්නු ස්වාධීන මන්ත්‍රීවරු මෙදා මාලිමාවට සහාය දක්වන්නේ නැත්තේ ඇයි? එදා මාලිමාවට පක්ෂව තිබුණු ජනමතය අද දැඩි ලෙස මාලිමාවට විරුද්ධ වෙලා තියෙනවා.
අපි ප්‍රබලම කණ්ඩායම වුණාට පහුගිය පළාත් පාලන මැතිවරණයේදී අපිට විවිධ දේශපාලන පක්ෂවලට සම්බන්ධ ප්‍රාදේශීය සභා සහ නගර සභා පිහිටුවා ගන්න උදව් කළා. ඒ උදව් කරපු කණ්ඩායම් සමහර අවස්ථාවලදී විවිධ හේතු නිසා අයවැය ඉදිරිපත් කිරීමේදී සමහර අවස්ථාවලදී අපි පරාද වුණා. ඉදිරියේදී අපිට තියෙන අභියෝගය තමයි මේ අපිට විරුද්ධ දේශපාලන මත දරන කණ්ඩායම් වල മന്ത്രിවරුන් අපේ වැඩ කටයුතු වලට හවුල් කරගෙන දිනාගෙන අපි මේ ආයතන ජනතාවගේ සේවාවන් සඳහා පවත්වාගෙන යන්නේ.
අපි බලය පිහිටවලා තියෙනවා 159ක් ඉන්නවා. එතකොට රාජ්‍ය යාන්ත්‍රණය ක්‍රියාකාරීත්වය සාධාරණ විදියට බොහෝ තැන්වල සිද්ධ වෙනවා. නමුත් සමහර නිලධාරීන්ගේ ඒ නොමනා හැසිරීම් තියෙනවා, අනවශ්‍ය ඇඟිලි ගැසීම් තියෙනවා. මොකද අපිට උගන්වන්නේ එහෙම නැත්නම් අපේ පක්ෂය තුල අපි හැසිරෙන්නේ තව කෙනෙකුට අපේ වචනයකින් හෝ යම් ආකාරයකට හානියක් නොවන විදිය.
හැබැයි ගංජා හේන අල්ලන්න ගියපු පොලිසියේ නිලධාරියට පහර දුන්නා. අනිත් එක්කෙනා විස්ථාන මාරු කරා. ගහපු කෙනා එළියේ. ගංජා හේනේ අයිතිකාරයාත් එළියේ. අල්ලපු නිලධාරියා හිරේ. කනගාටුම කාරණේ තමයි පොලිසිය මේකට මැදිහත් වීම.
අද ඒ පොලිස් නිලධාරියාගේ දරුවන්ට පවා පාසලට පවා යන්න බැරි වෙන තත්ත්වයක් අද උදා වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඉතින් ඔබතුමාලා බලයට පත් උනේ පොලිස් නිලධාරීන්ට ස්වාධීන කටයුතු කරන්න නිදහස දෙනවා කියලා. අද කොහොම මේ නිදහස?
The Manasat Derana relief operation launched to support communities affected by recent adverse weather continues to extend vital assistance. As part of this initiative, the program distributing school supplies and stationery to students in disaster-affected areas has received generous contributions from donors across the globe. Donations are being accepted at the Derana head office, ensuring that every contribution reaches those in need. These supplies are being efficiently delivered to schools and relief camps in the affected regions. Recently, Manasat Derana school supplies were provided to students at Isipatana Mahavidyalaya Punava and to children in a relief camp in the Huri Gaswava area of Siabala Gaswava. Additionally, supplies were distributed to students of Arawula Primary School, Udunura, and Arapulamulla Primary School, Kegor, helping children continue their education despite the challenges posed by the disaster. With that, here's a look at more local news in brief.
Several mobile phones have been seized from cells at Busa prison, which houses high-profile and serious criminals, following special search operations by the police special task force. The devices were discovered hidden in the cells of notorious inmates, including Lokupati, Midigamaruan and Demaragoda Chaminda. Further investigations revealed additional phones concealed beneath prison cell floors. Meanwhile, the Western Province North Crime Division arrested an individual known as Chinga, believed to be related to prominent drug traffic and organized criminal Hinatiyana Mahesh, who is currently overseas. Authorities recovered a foreign-made pistol, a magazine, and 25 rounds of T-56 ammunition from the suspect at the time of arrest. In other local news, a wild elephant has been killed after colliding with a van near the 124th mile post on the Habaran-Trincomalee main road at around 1 a.m. today. The driver of the van and a female passenger sustained injuries in the accident and were admitted to Habaran Hospital. The deceased wild elephant is estimated to be about 12 years old and stood about 5 feet in height.
Welcome back to First at 9. Now taking you to business news, Sri Lanka's tourism sector is steadily rebounding following recent challenges, with nearly 2.2 million visitors recorded by mid-December. Earnings for the first 11 months of 2025 have surpassed $2.91 billion. India continues to lead as the top source market, with arrivals steadily increasing ahead of the year-end season.
The recent cyclone Ditwa had a significant impact on Sri Lanka's tourism sector. However, the latest data released by the Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority indicates a gradual recovery in the industry. According to the data, 195,394 tourists arrived in Sri Lanka between the 1st and the 25th of December this year. The highest number of tourist arrivals during December was recorded between 15th and 21st, with 61,579 visitors. On a monthly basis, the highest tourist arrivals were recorded in January with 252,761 tourists, while the lowest were recorded in May with 132,919 tourists. In November, 212,906 tourists arrived in the country, representing a 15.6% increase compared to November 2024. Among source markets, India remains the top contributor with 45,020 tourists visiting in December, followed by the Russian Federation with 20,150 arrivals. As of 25th of December, Sri Lanka has welcomed 2.2 million tourists for the year, reaching the halfway mark of its target, securing 3 million tourist arrivals for the year. Meanwhile, the central bank's weekly economic indicator reported that tourism earnings reached $251.6 million in November, with a total of $2.91 billion generated from January to November this year.
A recent report put together by Indian leading online travel company Make My Trip, Sri Lanka emerged as the third most booked international destination by Indian travellers for the festive period. The report analysed booking trends after the 20th of December. Compared to the same period last year, the report depicted a growing interest in Sri Lanka as a preferred destination. Thailand ranked first, while the UAE secured second place. Vietnam, meanwhile, recorded a notable rise, moving from 7th position last year to 4th this year, followed by Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, the UK, the US and Hong Kong. A proposal has been prepared to bring the Mattala Rajapaksa International Airport under private management through the Public-Private Partnership Programme, Minister of Ports and Civil Aviation Dr. Anura Karunatilaka announced today. The minister clarified that the airport will not be privatised under this initiative. The proposal is set to be submitted to the Cabinet of Ministers for approval, after which expressions of interest will be invited from private companies. Dr. Karunatilaka added that 3 private companies have already shown interest in conducting business at the airport. The program is expected to create investment opportunities in aircraft maintenance, training, fuel supply and other aviation-related services. Welcome back. Now taking you to international news, a massive crash in snowy weather killed 2 persons and injured 26 on an expressway in Japan late yesterday as the country kicked off its end-of-the-year holiday season. The Gunma Prefectural Highway Police said today that the pileup on the Kan-Etsu Expressway started with a collision between 2 trucks in the town of Minakami, about 160 kilometers northwest of Tokyo. Out of the 26 injured, 5 were reported to be in serious condition. The crash of the trucks blocked parts of the expressway, and cars coming from behind them were unable to brake on the snowy surface. Police noted that more than 50 vehicles were involved in the pileup. A fire erupted at the far end of the pileup, spreading to more than a dozen vehicles, some of which were completely burned. Nobody was injured from the fire, which was extinguished about 7 hours later, police noted. A warning about heavy snow was in effect yesterday when many Japanese started their year-end and New Year holidays. Parts of the expressway remained closed for police investigation, removal and cleaning of the wreckage. Thailand and Cambodia have agreed to an immediate ceasefire, bringing an end to nearly 3 weeks of intense fighting along their shared border. The decision was announced in a joint statement by the defense ministers of both countries. Under the agreement, forces on both sides will freeze positions along the current front lines, allowing civilians displaced by the fighting to return to their homes. The clashes, which erupted almost 3 weeks ago, left dozens dead and forced close to 1 million people to flee border areas. The ceasefire took effect at 5 a.m. GMT today. Officials said that once the truce has held for 72 hours, Thailand will release 18 Cambodian soldiers detained since July. The agreement also includes commitments to clear landmines from affected areas. The breakthrough follows several days of negotiations supported diplomatically by China and the United States. Both sides said the priority now is humanitarian relief and the safe return of displaced communities. An explosion killed at least 8 people and injured 18 others during Friday prayers inside a mosque in the Syrian city of Homs yesterday. Officials believe that an explosive was detonated inside the building. While authorities are still searching for the perpetrators, jihadist group Saraya Ansar al-Sunnah said it was behind the explosion. The mosque is in the Wadi al-Dahab neighborhood, where most people are part of the Alawite ethno-religious group. Syria's foreign ministry condemned the terrorist crime, writing in a statement on X that the cowardly act is a blatant assault on human and moral values designed to undermine the security and stability of the country. Saraya Ansar al-Sunnah, a Sunni extremist group, has said it carried out the attack in collaboration with another unidentified group, using explosives planted at the site. As we embrace the spirit and joy of Christmas, let us look ahead to the coming year with renewed hope, committed to serving others and extending love to those who need it the most. With that spirit in mind, we now turn to our special seasonal segment, A Message of Hope.
Dear brothers and sisters, when you look at the Holy Scripture, Bible tells us very clearly that there was no room for Jesus to born. There was a manger where they have offered for Jesus to born. It was a place of shame, place of rejection. No one opened their doors. It was among animals. And when we come to today's context, we also see that there are people who have been rejected, who have been marginalized, who have no place to live, especially because of Ditwa cyclone, earth slips. People have lost their lives and they have lost their properties and every precious thing. So at this Christmas, it is my humble appeal to you, dear brothers and sisters, to look at the people who are suffering, who are in pain and in tears among us, and to share your love with them. If you look at the true meaning of Christmas, you would find that God the Father sent His only begotten Son Jesus into this world to give His life for us. This is the message. God shared His Son with us. God showed His love to us through His Son Jesus Christ. Christmas is a time of sharing. So share your love with people who are suffering.
That's all for tonight from First at 9. For the latest developments around the clock, stay in touch with other Derana, the Sri Lankan news brand of international excellence. Thank you for joining. Stay safe and have a great night.
From across the nation and around the world, this is Sri Lanka's #1 news source, Ada Derana.